Howdy, it's Jimerado, and this is August 2022. I just took a little quick drive into Georgetown, Kentucky the other day. Oddly, I'm almost embarrassed to admit this since I've lived close to here for years, but I've just really discovered how awesome this little area is, especially their little historic downtown area. And in fact, let me be honest. I paint toy soldiers, and a buddy of mine told me that the antique mall down here had some really cool looking toy soldiers. And I came down, I made a point to come down to the antique mall just to check that out. And the antique mall is awesome. And I found several other spots here that are equally as cool. Yeah, but for the moment, we'll just drive around town a little bit and look around. But the antique mall, man, it's 3 stories. There's like a nice fixed basement, and then a 2-story building just crammed with antiques. And I'm pretty big on ephemera. I love postcards, old brochures, old photos, especially old stationery from hotels. And man, they had all of that at the antique mall, in addition to some cool toy soldiers that I bought specifically to repaint. So I loved that place. Something else that I picked up, and if you're into antiques and small town collectibles, I found a couple of thimbles, little promotional plastic thimbles for the Adam's apple at Lincoln Mall in Owensboro. And growing up in Owensboro, the Lincoln Mall was one of my favorite hangouts, and I'm always excited to find any sort of collectible related to the Lincoln Mall. So it really, even though it was just a little plastic thimble, it really made my day to find something like that at the antique mall here in Georgetown. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that I really love the antique mall, and if you collect, especially if you collect smaller items, yeah, it was just a great antique mall. Even as I was waiting to pay for my purchases, as I stood by the cash register, I noticed a couple of other things I had to have. Just a crazy cool mall, and I really liked it. Wanted to mention too that their old post office is now like a local history museum, and I stopped in there. It's free, so I could afford it. But I stopped in there thinking, okay, well, my expectations were low, but I stopped in, and it's just crammed full of local stuff, and I love community museums like that one. Yeah, right there on the left, and I'll show you some pictures here in a moment. I'm gonna probably save those for the end, but it was amazing. It was just jam packed full of old signs from businesses in town, and lots of photos, lots of promotional items from businesses that were here in decades past. And I just love that. Of course, there was some great Civil War stuff to see, and you're going into the old post office, so that's cool too. But I was just really impressed with how nicely done their local museum was. It's open on Saturday too. I know some local museums their hours are not very convenient, but it looked like they were doing a good job of trying to keep those hours convenient to people that might be coming through town. And of course, they had a nice selection of local books and things like that you could buy, to help support that museum. And of course, not being real familiar with Georgetown, I think the thing that most people know about Georgetown is Toyota. It's a big Toyota manufacturing place there. Look at the train. We got a little bit of a train on camera. I'm glad about that. Toyota. I drive a Toyota. I have, my last 2 cars have been Toyotas. I drove the one I had before this one into the ground, and I've got one now. They're good, reliable cars, and it's just a nice car, and I'm happy with it. Also, there's Georgetown College, which I think in general has a good reputation, even though they've had a couple of not great moments here lately. I know that's a good college that the town is proud of. And then the Bengals, The NFL team, the Bengals, used to do their training in Georgetown. And I'm not a big football person, but I'm not sure where they do that now. But they used to do it here. Oh, and we stopped at the local feed, which is a great restaurant. Farm to table kind of place, very cozy, great selection, and very affordable too. My wife and I ate here. I'd say before tip, it was under $40 for the two of us, or probably right around $40, which I thought was a great value for such a place. I did a pick 3 small plates deal. I had biscuits and gravy, I had a great salad, and I had Brussels sprouts, and that was way more than enough for me. And my wife had a burger that she said was one of the best burgers she's ever had. And it's in this kind of repurposed little downtown building that's gorgeous. And we really like this place. I would totally be back. One thing about a good restaurant, to me, is it's got to be unique. I want to eat something there that I've not eaten anywhere else. I want to discover a flavor that's unique. This place tasted like Kentucky to me. It made me think of Kentucky, but it was still unique. And I really liked what they were doing. Yeah, and there's a picture of that post office that I mentioned that's now a museum. It's just a pretty picture. I'm kind of proud of that one. Yeah, and there's some of the items they have inside, and this you could spend some hours in here if you wanted to take your time and just slowly look around. Yeah, and of course there's some things relating to the local school. Again, some great Civil War pieces in here. This, if you just moved to this area and you wanted to know what it was about, yes, I love this sort of thing. There's information about those long-standing businesses that were here for decades that are no longer here, and a real sense of pride about the area's past. Oh yeah, I love this stuff. Of course, Basil Duke, legendary elbow rubber of John Hunt Morgan, Nathan Bedford Forrest, people like that, was from this area. Wanted to mention Desserts by Rebecca too. This place is great. Go eat at the local feed for your main meal. Come here for your dessert and your coffee. And I stress coffee too, because they do coffee and they do it right here. Cute little place. Look how clean and nice that is. Very slick. And we bought some bourbon balls here that were great. Also bought some giant chocolate chip cookies here that were great, and had a nice coffee drink. And I wanted to mention them real quick just because I really liked what they were doing, and I thought they had a cute logo too. But yeah, Georgetown. Just stopped by Georgetown and found some really sweet and cute little businesses and a good sense of local pride.